Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks to the Web Institute and to the US Merchant Marine Academy. I'm Michael, one of the co-founders of VELA. Unfortunately, my co-founder, Gabar, for those of you who know of him, is busy trying to win the Transat Jack Brab right now on a flying trimaran. So I'm here doing the presentation on his behalf. I have a short video to start with, always better than from speech. Let's see. Here we go. Yep, I mean, if you have it, always there. Is that one? Anyway. So, as you can barely see, it's a trimaran that is operating from the sail and only sail. It's a soft sail technology, basic rigging, plastic rigging. So it's a new build. It's a vessel that does not exist yet in the making. Okay, so back to the presentation. So this is a little bit of our DNA at VELA. Was telling you about François. So that's the trimaran he's sailing right now. It's flying, floating. For those of you who know about ocean racing, this one can go up to 50 knots using only the power of wind. Of course, this is the pure Formula One of the sea. We are doing cargo vessels, but these derive some technologies from ocean racing to reinvent sailing cargo vessels. We had the presentation from Sail Cargo. Just said it used to be the way to go with cargo, and we wanted to use modern technologies to make it more efficient, cost-wise, carbon footprint-wise, of course, and also time-wise. And that's was one of the main reasons why we decided to go for trimaran. Is because with the same deadweight, with the same cargo, with an equivalent monohull, it would be up to 40% more faster. And of course, faster means shorter lead time, higher frequency. It's the kind of virtuous circle. So this is it. Speaking of a little bit of what we can achieve in terms of carbon footprints, it is obviously better off than air freight and even sea freight. We can decrease the CO2 emission on the propulsion by more than 99%. It's not 100 because we're still using a bit of the engine for maneuvering. And if you look at it from a life cycle analysis, we're doing this right now. It is 99% steel compared to air freight and 80% compared to sea. Time-wise, maybe you're familiar with the transatlantic lead times. If you're not, with air freight, it usually takes 3 to 7 days because you need to consolidate. Maybe you know that air freight is usually hybrid cargo, it's passenger and cargo, so they have to find the right spot and the right plane on the right route. Usually takes a few days, even though the transit time is 8 hours. Sea freight transit time would be like 9 days, but you still need like 45 days gate in, gate out in the harbor to access the gate and then load and unload the containers. And we are in between because at sea we'll spend like 8 to 13 days depending on the route, rather eastbound or westbound. There is obviously wind in the right direction in the eastbound from the US to France. And also because of the seasonality, there is more wind in the North Atlantic in the winter than there is in the summer. But the good news is that there is wind all year long. And price-wise, just to give you rational behind the economics of such a project, we are able to be cheaper than air freight and more expensive than sea freight, obviously. I mean, the gigantic economies of scale of a container ship makes it very cheap, and also the cost of oil that is my personal view not enough, like not the fair price. So that gives a price per pallet that is very cheap. But if you compare it to air freight, which is like 8 times more, we are like 6 times more. So that gives you an order of magnitude, and it's very important. Gabby, you said it this morning, the sustainability has to have some economical perspective and viability, otherwise it cannot scale. Decarbonization, mention it quickly. Yeah, just to tell you that obviously on the propulsion, you're replacing the engine by a sail, but if you look at it from this life cycle analysis, there is still a challenge to tackle on the hotel loads, all the energy on board, or the systems we're using for the ventilation, for the energy used by the crew, 8 crew members on such a ship, and also to maneuver the sails. We have hydraulic power units, and these we can power with solar panels, hydrogen generator, and we still have a diesel generator running. The frequency, the idea is to match basically the cargo needs of the North Atlantic route today. It's 1 departure per week, and we'll achieve this by having 5 vessels at sea, 8 crews, and with this we can achieve 12 round trips per year per vessel, times 5, it's 60 round trips per year for the fleet. So this is how we handle the cargo. Those are palletized type of cargo, any type, but palletized. What you can see, the red box is just an illustration of the cargo, but it's the wooden pallets we have in any type of cargo. We use that cage to take them 4x4, and we have 3 hatches on the roof to put the cargo inside the hull. So it's like a plane, you know, the cargo is inside the hull. And because we're looking first at high added value products, such as like fashion, cosmetics, wine, spirits, pharmaceuticals, medical devices, those are sensitive products. And it's important for the shippers that the cargo is safe and secure inside of the hull. So we are trying to mimic the air freight standards when it comes to handling the cargo. So basically the inside of the hull will look like the inside of the plane. The capacity is about 500 pallets, US pallets, 600 Euro pallets, Euro standard, but it's a bit smaller, and we can fit both. And there are 7 different compartments. You see 5 here and 2 underneath in the main hull that we can segregate for separating like hazardous goods from others, or do different temperature levels, no problem, but we can still have some like fresh cargo. This is a bit of a wrap-up of that case from France to the US, most likely New Jersey, because this is, I would say, where most of the cargo is entering on the East Coast right now, at New York, at coast.
And same day in New Jersey.
Exactly, and that's, the reason why there is a Bayonne in New Jersey is because Bayonne used to be a very active port, but it's not anymore. And one of the reasons why we settled the company there is because the port of Bayonne told us, like, look, we are revamping the infrastructure and we would like to welcome you at the harbor. But I mean, we could start from La Rochelle with Fernandez-Ferri. It's obviously easy with a smaller boat that is 200 feet long to access secondary harbor. Well, that's about it. Fast, reliable, carbon-free. Carbon-free, I believe, is pretty obvious, even though I told you there are still a little bit of a challenge on the hotel load. Fast and reliable. Those are the two ideas we're fighting when it comes to selling cargo, because people usually think that it's slow and that it's not predictable. But honestly, this is not true anymore, because with such a fast boat, it's as fast as a container ship, especially with the presentation we had before on slow steaming. Container ships are going slower, and therefore we can match the speed of the container ship. And reliable, because again, especially in the North Atlantic, but this is becoming more true elsewhere on the globe, we have such a strong weather database that makes it very predictable. We can be accurate by like 2 to 3 days when we leave the coast, and when you arrive like 40 hours before arriving, your ETA is like an hour accurate. So we can be really accurate. That's it. Thank you very much. Happy to take any questions.